Okay, real quick, Manta Force, you don't know anything about it, I'll get you caught up, okay? Manta Force was a toy line released in 1987 by UK-based company Bluebird, the folks who brought us the honestly unbeatable Big Yellow Teapot. The Manta in Manta Force stood for Multiple Air, Naval and Terrain Assault Force. Ugh, I know, but stick with me, it does get better. It was a line with a lot of ephemera, comics, school bags, etc., but the main draw of the Manta Force line were these big command ships, huge playsets that housed multiple vehicles and tiny little Manta Force figures to pilot them. Now, back in 1987, with the first release, the Manta Force command ship, I was knee-deep in transforming crocodiles and bats and wolves. I didn't give Manta Force the time of day, mostly because, as stupid as this sounds, it felt a little too militaristic, a little bit too much like army men, and I didn't care about army men. I liked bad bastards, robots, and horror. And the funny thing is, the line would proceed to give me exactly that. The Manta ship was full of square-jawed paragons of virtue who were tasked with colonising a planet called New Earth. A sister ship was created called Red Venom, which was, and I can't believe I'm saying this, hijacked by bad bastards who made it their mission to then hijack the Manta and take over New Earth. Red Venom is immediately much cooler than the Manta. I actually have one here. Look. Yep, I've got mad into Manta Force the last few months. I'll do a separate video on this soon, but suffice to say, it's bitchin'. The next big release was the Black Barracuda, which contained the Carnoids, robots hell-bent on destroying humanity, so the Manta and Red Venom had to team up against this menace. The designs are going full gear towards my pleasure centres, folks. But none more so than in the dying breaths of the line where Bluebird released the Bog Rocket. Now, I've always been much more into the slimy side of life, you know? Even back then, it was all weird Turtles toys, Toxic Crusaders, anything that came with slime or ooze. You know, I had no idea this existed until only a few years ago, but it absolutely ticks every box for things I was into back then, and still am now. Just look at this box. You know, I'm not often compelled to keep packaging, but this is going straight into the loft. I don't often get to call out fantastic font choices on things like this either, so look at this wonderfully rendered title, like something from a fucking Don Bluth movie. It's Vile Stinkhorn and his stenchoids. Has there ever been a better sentence before or after? We see all the features around the box, but we'll get to those. Calm down. All the accessories here, I had to actually end up buying 2 Bog Rockets just to have everything we see today, and do some maintenance with a hacksaw to fix a broken wing at the back. It's not perfect, but I ask you, is that not the very spirit of the Bog Rocket, you snake? And with that, we have a good look at the Bog Rocket itself. Bask in all its honking glory. It's a giant, seemingly biomechanical spaceship, covered in all sorts of horrendous sculpted detail, big tentacles, veins, questionable orifices. There's a ton of stickers on the outside too, tons of slimy corroded sections, some disgusting space slugs clinging to the rocket for dear life. And also the eyes and the mouth stickers definitely bring up some bigger questions on the nature of this entire thing. There are some lovely retro boosters at the back and some fold out landing gear too. And in this mode, accessories are pretty plentiful. We've got a bog bomb on each wing here, just press down and they drop off. Simple enough. There's 2 stench eggs, which we'll get to in due course, as well as a twin launcher on the top and a single launcher on the front. These use the included stench rockets. You might be starting to sense a motif here. These things fire out with the power of 1,000,000 exploding microwaves. Again, I am curious as to whether they could crack an egg. Let's find out. Oh, hey! There's also space on the back for the remaining 2 rockets. Isn't that nice? In terms of colour choice, stickers, form factor, the translucent front hinting at the horrors inside, I absolutely adore the Bog Rocket. But that's only a small taste of what the Bog Rocket offers. Detach the front of the rocket and you've got a separate command module piloted by the smelliest, foulest villain ever to grace this incredible YouTube channel, Vile Stinkhorn. There's not really a ton of play features in this section, but I do like the Stinkhorn monogram on the top here. That's tattoo territory right there, right above my arse crack. Open the flaps, on the ship I mean, and we get the odious stinker himself, Vile Stinkhorn. I dare say he's quite cute, that grumpy expression and a mean pair of Eugene Levy's. Absolutely adorable, yes. But deadly. For such a simple toy, Stinkhorn has a ton of personality, even more so when we use their play feature. First we need our stench eggs. Now, these contained a sort of green Play-Doh, which after 30 years has fared, let's say, badly, giving us some actual real-life biohazard to deal with, so let's get some gloves on, Scoop these suckers out. We're eating good tonight. And replace the old stuff with some brand new Play-Doh. And I have to say, there is very little that transports me to my carefree days of childhood, quite like the smell of Play-Doh. Even the texture. Honestly, just do yourself a favour, buy a tub the next time you see it. Open up Stinkhorn's noggin, plonk some dough in there, pushing in the plunger, and yes, isn't that incredible? Big snotters, huge beagles from the boy, incredible. I looked at the box and it says that Stinkhorn can shoot stench in 2 directions. Now, that can't mean each nostril, can it? No, we're actually doing it out the bum. Okay, here we go, folks. Toy of the year. As good as all this is, let's take a look at Stinkhorn's gaff as we turn the Bog Rocket to face the sky, unclip this little plastic clip that will shatter at any moment, and open things up to reveal the Bog Fortress. Oh, isn't it something? Just so colourful and stinky, I can't get enough of it. Turn this lock at the top and it drops down this stink hive filled with these monstrous stenchoids. Here, Stinkhorn can, according to the box, lay his stench balls and probably, like, I don't know, call out for pizzas if everyone got a good report card. The stenchoids themselves are also incredible, aren't they? Look at the state of them. Just abominations of form. You can, of course, mix and match the pieces as you see fit, but I like how they are here. I think this weird elephant dude is my favourite, but they're all fantastic. 2 of them have their own snot-shooting plunger gimmick, and whatever you're thinking right now, it's not my fault. The twin launcher from the ship mode can reverse and slot in here too, so you can still rain down terror as you play with the fortress. But rain down terror on who, you might ask? Well, these poor sods from the Manta and Red Venom. Oh, they're in for a bad time, folks, let me tell you. Like all great playsets, the Bog Fortress not only has a working trapdoor, but it leads to a dungeon. Brilliant. A plus for everyone at Bluebird, and as if that wasn't bad enough, some of these are subjected to the stench ejectors. Place some stench in here, push down the plunger, and ooh, I love the Bog Rocket. Either imprisoned in the dungeon or covered in stench, there's only one fate for these unlucky souls. That's right, decomposition. Isn't this one of the most macabre things you've ever seen in a kid's toy line? Actual, decomposing, stinking human bodies. Bluebird really didn't give a fuck at this point, did they? But from start to finish, every aspect of the Bog Rocket is unparalleled, from the design, the gimmicks, the body horror, everything about it so uniquely up my street. Manta Force is fucking incredible, folks. I cannot tell you how much I've enjoyed my time messing with the Bog Rocket. Even the little Manta dudes are fun to play with and pose around the house. Everyone talks about how good Diaclone is, but man, give me Manta Force any day of the week.
Are you just saying that to annoy all the old men who make up 80% of your audience?
Yep.